I sneezed like 6 times earlier on today, and I was like, oh my God. I put up my story recently, like, I used to love a good sneeze. Did you not enjoy fucking sneezing? Your whole body was shit. You're just like, oh, that feels great. And now you're like scared to breathe too heavily anywhere.
Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, the weekly show where I have a new guest on every week. And I butcher this every single week. Every week, I need to nail down.
It's so hard to do.
I need to nail down
the thing that you think's easy, like.
Yeah, I need to nail down what the show actually is. But thank you to everyone who listened last week. To myself and Michael Fry, got a lot of people messaging saying that they really liked the episode. He's an absolute gas man, and I'm looking forward to all of his content to come out after the US election. Because I've seen Ryan Carrick and I've seen Sean Burke and all them putting up great content. But this week, as I say this every week, I have a great guest. But this week, not only do I have a great guest, I have a fellow woman, because I'm not a woman, so I can't say a fellow awfully. I have a fellow awfully native.
Yes.
Ashley Kearns, how are things?
How are you getting on, Podge? What's the crack?
Thanks for coming on. I mean, like, okay, so we've known each other for actually a good cut.
We're talking secondary school.
Yeah, we're talking secondary school back in the day, but you are. Like at the moment, you're blowing up on TikTok, Instagram. But before that, I mean, you studied performance and arts in UL, then went on to the Gaiety Theatre to do your acting course. Then you went straight into Outlands.
Yeah, Darklands.
Outlands.
So
Outlands is the Netflix show, isn't it? And I have it written down in front of me.
Outlands. Are you writing it? Can I be in
it? Nicola in Darklands.
No, Nicole. I know only messing it is Nicola. Yes.
I was like, fucking hell! I actually done a good bit of research here, and I'm fucking it up already. And then you played Emma in Asking First.
Yes.
And then you played most recently Mairead in Lieutenant of Inishmore.
Yep.
And I mean, you're a credited actor, and you're such content there as well. Like,
yes.
Yeah, what about it? But yeah, how are you?
Great. Well, like, it's been fucking. I don't want to say shite like the last few months because everyone's fucking given out about it, but like it is what it is, and it has been. It's just been quiet. Like, I was really lucky to be so busy when I finished in the Gaiety, like working as an actor, and then it was just like nothing. Okay, you're unemployed.
And you're doing, like, in fairness, like, you were doing I never actually seen Asking For It, but I remember the acclaim it was getting.
Yeah.
Not only for the incredible performances, but also like the message behind it.
Yeah.
And then I actually seen The Intent to Finish More, which was really, really good.
Yeah, I remember you were texting me afterwards. I remember that.
See, look at me.
That's because I wanted to get on the podcast.
I always look over for Shane for validation for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, is that good? Is that good?
Good podcast.
I actually done it was with my roommate Scopes. We done a podcast when I had COVID, and done it in the house. And every time I'd look to the right, but there was no one there. And it was like a
habit.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God.
Just started imagining them, and they're like, I know.
But before we go into like your most recent, I suppose, content that you be posting up and like your blow up on Instagram and TikTok, talk to me about what it was like as an actor for COVID to hit, because you mentioned there you were working so much, you were doing so well, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, for me, like, I was so lucky that when I finished in the Gaiety, I started to work straight away, and that's rare. And I'm not saying that in a way of like, I'm fucking class. I am saying it in it's a factual thing, because like I would
your class.
Just, it's hard being this good. No, not at all like that, but like some people might look at me and go, oh my God, if I go to acting school I'm going to get jobs straight away. But that's not usually the thing that happens. Like, there's really talented actors that had to take the long route around, but because I was so busy, I was so grateful to get to do all of that. And then when COVID hit, it wasn't like, oh, I can't get a job. It was like, no one can get a job because there are no jobs. So instead of me being like, I'm shite now, like, I had my moment and that's it, I'm done now, I'll never work again. It was more so like, everyone's in the same boat. So it was like, I just need to get on with it.
But it's shit though as well, though, because you feel like with... I was lucky enough to be working through it. Sorry to... You might be an actor, but I had a job, so...
I had a real job, okay?
But like, I think it's one of those things for... Like, I was meant to travel with my job this year, but I couldn't. And it's one of those things where you have such anger and such frustration, but you you can't like who are you going to give out to, a Pangolinian in China? Do you know, you can't really. There's no one to kind of, I don't know, direct your anger towards. So.
But it's just like, it is what it is, and like I said, everyone's in the same boat. Like, so you just have to get on with it. Like, I was really lucky that I did get a part in a short film that I did a couple of weeks ago. But like, that was 6 days work. Like, that's it. It was just a week. Like, it flew by.
How long does stuff like that take? So like Darklands, how long did that take to...
Well, that was abnormally quick. That was shot in...
That's what my girlfriend calls me. I don't have a girlfriend. There you go, it took you a second.
More so normally fucking quick.
I don't have a girlfriend either, so there's the...
Oh, it's all in your imagination.
That's what
But...
Why would that... If anything, would it not be like incredibly long? Listen, go on.
We're going down a rabbit hole. Let's get back out of there quick.
Go on. What were you saying?
What was I fucking saying?
You were saying about the Darklands was quick.
Oh yeah, so we Outlands was very quick. We shot it in 7 weeks, and there was 6 episodes. 6, I think. I can't remember.
Probably feels like an age away.
Yeah, but it was 7 weeks, so we were shooting an episode a week, which is really fast. But they were also on a tight budget, so we weren't given a massive budget for it, so they couldn't spend lots of time on scenes and stuff like that and do them, whatever. So we had to do it really quickly. So it was 7 weeks and it flew by. But also, like, over that time, I'd say I shot for about 25 days. Like, you know, so it's not a long time. Like, it's spread out. You might be in like 3 days in a row and then you're off for the next 4 and stuff like that. Like, they're just, it's weird like that.
And do you prefer, because like there's such a build up for the likes of the plays and the stage performance, do you prefer screen acting, or do you prefer being on stage?
I don't know.
Sorry, what was before you answer that? What was the purpose of going from the drama and arts in UL then onto the game?
Yeah, so I did voice and dance in UL, and the reason why I did that was
which is now called performance and arts. So I did get it right.
No, it's not. It's called performing arts. So you're fucking wrong again. I'm leaving. But I knew, like, when I was very young, that like I wanted to perform and entertain. Like, I didn't know how, but I did stage school. Do you know Regina McCarthy's?
Oh, sure. I was there myself.
Oh, sure. Look, we were probably in it together. Like.
I done a Hairspray. I had to do...
Wait, no, Hairspray. Oh, no. You definitely weren't in Regina's. Are you sure that wasn't someone else's? Because Regina wouldn't have done Hairspray. That would have been too modern. She was more of the Mamma Mia and Michael Jackson.
Maybe it was. There was a stage school in Tullamore that took on Skulwera across from Hollywood.
Took them on?
I said that's where you go every week.
I thought like a rival. Well, fucking take you on the whole of Skulwera.
We played. We done Hairspray. And I had to play the mother. I didn't want to play the mother, but she thought I was really good to play the mother. So the compromise was because there was like so many people in the stage school. They'd done 2 nights with one set of actors or kids, and then the second 2 nights was the other half. But I was so...
Oh no, that wasn't Regina's anyways.
I was so good I played the mother for the first 2 and then Seaweed for the second 2.
Oh wow.
I was the only one in both shows.
Yeah, couldn't do that nowadays though.
No, we could not. No, we could not.
We could not do that, but we won't go there. We won't go there. We won't fucking go there. But...
You always knew you wanted to do
So I always knew I wanted to... Not even acting. Actually, I remember I did a journalist did an interview with me for something, and they were like, for one paper, and she asked me this: did you always know you wanted to do acting? I said no, I didn't know I wanted to do acting. I wanted to entertain and be a performer. First line on the fucking thing: I always knew I wanted to be an actor. I was like, why? I didn't say that. Yeah. Learned a lesson there.
Yeah, you should be careful.
But no, so then when it's come to Leaving Cert, I was like, right, I want to do something in performing arts. I went to Sligo, looked at a drama course up there, went to Cork, did an audition for a drama course down there, won in DIT, and then UL was also had the voice and dance, and that was an audition as well. But I auditioned for that as a singer. And then I got in, and I just really liked the vibe of UL. Like, it was savage, because like UL's like a little village, because it's not in the city.
Yeah.
It's outside the city, and like it's just students everywhere, and like
same as DCU.
Yeah, savage crack. Like, so I was like, no, I want to go there.
It makes a huge difference as well, doesn't it? Like it's the like for majority of that type of industry. Or certainly degrees, it's quite specific. But we'd say like the likes of your commerce or your your arts. Like you can do that in mostly every college. So it's all about where you actually feel most comfortable. So
Exactly.
like UL,
And the UL have the Irish World Academy of Music and Dance. So you cross the Living Bridge in UL, and then it's like that side of the campus. There's a massive building that's just music and singing and dancing, all of that kind of vibe arts. And so I went in as a singer, and then halfway through the first term I was like, I think that's your bottle, maybe. You can't hear with your headphones on. That's so we have this one.
So this video won't be going out because I look like an idiot in
it. So I did half of the first term as a singer, and then I was like, God, this is boring. Like I needed to be stimulated more than just standing in a room and fucking singing songs. Like, I was like, right. And we did some dance as well. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go change over to dance. And then I did dance for the following 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the end of that 4th year, then I was just like, okay, so I've the dancing done. I did 6 years of singing with Regina in the Sacred Heart in the choir, so that was fucking training. That was like,
only one left. Here we go.
Triple. Going bird. But so then I was like, fuck, I'll try acting. I was like, so I looked up courses, auditioned for the Lear, drinking in their loss.
Same as myself.
Did you audition for the Lear as well? That was fucking so scary.
I went in with a broken leg.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't realise I think I spoke about this before, I didn't realise how like I said, but respected the Lear was.
Exact same.
So I
not a clue.
I forgot I had the audition, and then found out I remember the day before, so I got the train up and to just learn my piece on the train from John B. Keane, because we were reading John B. Keane in school.
What were you doing inside?
So I was like, yeah, I'll just do this. Messed up half the lines, and then this is the best part. They asked at the end, who's my favourite actor, and I panicked. I was like, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh no, real stereotypical kind of one. And they're like, oh, he's not even Irish. Get the fuck out.
So that was the end
but that was the exact same way I was going in. Like, I got a fucking shock when I got to acting school, like, because like I was going in like, sure, fucking try a bit of acting. I'm not too bad at it. Like, I was Mary in the Nativity play in 2nd class. Like, come on. I'm like, I can do this.
Just talent of the ability to.
I can't help myself. But so then I went for the audition in the Lear, and like I did that one before I did the Gaiety audition, and it was so intimidating. Like, I remember just walking in like this big room, there's 2 men sitting at a desk,
huge room,
and and they're just like, okay, there's a chair there, you can use at the end
of the chair.
Like, walk, bitch, fucking walk and get that chair so we watch you.
Imagine watching a lad on crutches. And then he's like,
can you pick up that chair and bring it up here?
Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I can do it. But so that was so intimidating. I was just, because it was my first experience of an audition. Now, I did the audition for DIT that 4 years before, but I didn't really give a massive fuck about it, and I wasn't mad about it as well. So, but then the Lear was scary, and then I remember doing the Gaiety audition, and it was just a complete different vibe. Now, I'm not judging the Lear at all, like, because I know that there are so many phenomenal actors that have come out there, and like everyone says that the training's amazing, like, and that it's brilliant and all. But just for me personally, the audition process for the Gaiety felt a lot more comfortable. And then, I was sitting in college in Limerick in like May, waiting for a take. It was actually a funny story that comes to this. How I found out that I got in. I was in my friend's house, hungover as fuck, and we were like, all right, we get a takeaway. And we're like, yeah, right, we get an Indian, will we? All right, savage. And it was like, right, ring up, ordered the Indian, 40 minutes. Now, if food doesn't come on time, I'm the one that rings and
you're like
sorry.
A Karen.
Yeah, don't call me a Karen. I can't be a Karen. But
I mean, if you're calling the takeaway when it doesn't arrive on time, it goes
now 40 minutes plus. Like, what the fuck are you at? Are you killing the fucking chicken in there? Like, like, come on, like. So I was just kind of like, all right. I was ringing. I was like, hi, sorry. Yeah, it's been 40 minutes and it's not here yet. And they're like, oh, really sorry. It'll be on its way there soon. Another 15 minutes there, no sign. I'm like, for fuck's sake, rang again. I was like, sorry, like, there's no sign. I'm getting a bit ticked now. I'm like, sorry, there's no fucking sign of this takeaway. Like, where is he or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, he's just after picking it up. He'll be out there soon. Another 10 minutes later, I get the phone starts ringing. I pick it up and I'm like, this fucker now telling me. And I'm like, hello? And he's like, hi, this is Patrick Sutton from the Gaiety School of Acting. And I'm like, I'm like, hi, how are you, Patrick?
Patrick, I'm waiting on a fucking takeaway, so call me back in 2 minutes.
These
will you?
fuckers are going to ring me, and if they don't get through me because of you. But then, yeah, and he was like, we just would like to offer you a place in the Gaiety. So
That's unreal.
got into the Gaiety.
That's 2 years, isn't it?
2 years, did that, and then I was like, this is what I want to do.
Do you think, say you were given the option of both the Lear and the Gaiety, do you think the Gaiety, like, because the Lear's 4, isn't it?
It's 3, and I think it's a BA.
Okay.
It's an actual degree. I got a piece of paper that said, well done, you can act now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like my degree I got in Limerick. You can dance now.
I wasn't too sure at first, but then this piece of paper really solidified.
Just said it, yeah.
But I mean, it worked out.
Oh yeah,
immensely.
well, I learned so much. Like, that was another thing that I learned so much from the Gaiety. Like, not even in terms, this is going to sound really wankery, but not in terms of like acting, as in like I just learned a lot about people and like the different kind of people that you meet and stuff like that. Like, UL was very casual and it was just relaxed, and everyone that was in my year were dancers, so they focused on what their body was doing all the time. You go to the Gaiety and everyone's
just eating all the time.
Fill this baby up.
Just,
give me more.
Some, warmth for the winter there. That's what I call that.
But then the Gaiety, everyone's in their heads, because a lot of actors are in their heads. If you get 4 lines, you're going, right, what's going on here? What are they trying to tell? What's the story? What am I trying to tell the audience? Why, where in her life is this character at this moment in time? There's so much thinking behind it, and you're in your head. And I just spent 4 years just looking at my body and going, all right, is it doing the right thing? Is it making the right shapes? How does this feel, rather than in my head? And so I struggled a lot with that, because I was so like, right, fucking just go for it. They're like, right, you're a cat and the cat's very sad. I'm like, no problem. Down on the ground, like I could just fucking go for it. Like, I'm not thinking about it.
Is that what you do? Is that what they said?
You do weird shit. You do very weird shit, but you can't fucking question it. That's the thing. You just have to go with it, because you do some weird shit and then you're like, I understand Sive now. I understand the play. I know what's going on.
I go down as a cat who is sad, and all of a sudden I understand why the 15-year-old killed herself.
Yeah.
That just makes so much sense.
How does no one understand this? But yeah, so I can't even remember what your question was. But
well, no, because I asked about like your process to where you were, but before that, my original question was, so which do you prefer? Do you prefer stage action? Well, actually, my original question, then I interrupted you and asked your journey. So if anything, I'm just making it worse for everyone
We're
here.
Just going round and round. It's fine.
So which do you prefer? Do you prefer stage acting or screen acting?
I think it's still hard to tell. Like, I don't have enough experience to tell. Like, they're so fucking different. Like, they're so different. Like, the work that you do for screen, my experience has only been 2 projects that I've done now so far, but like the work that you do preparing for them is so different to stage, because for them you're just kind of the experience I have is that the director has to be massively involved in like me growing this character, figuring out this character or whatever. It's kind of just like, this is a script, this is what we're going for, and then on set it's like, okay, maybe less
the
of
nuances that make the kind of
because they don't like to rehearse it too much, so it's fresh like when you go in. So like, obviously I have to learn my lines and stuff like that, but it's kind of just like in the moment, what's coming, all right, can you soften it a bit too, that's a bit too sad, let's lighten it a bit or whatever. So it's all kind of in the moment, whereas stage, it's like 3 or 4 weeks of vigorous going over every scene, doing it over and over again in front of your director, who's constantly going, right, change that, you're doing stage direction, like everything is rehearsed down to a T, that when you get on the stage on the first night, you know exactly what's going to happen. But of course then, when you get in front of a live audience, like,
it's a completely different,
just insane. Like, that's why I love it so much. Like, I remember my first bow that I did for asking for it, and I was just like, it was just like, I had one of those moments that like, I'm so lucky, this is exactly what I want to do. Like, I fucking love this. Like, just getting attention. Clap for me, bitches. But like, it's because I played Emma, was my first stage, and like, the last scene of asking for it's so fucking sad. And like, usually what would happen is the audience wouldn't clap for about a couple of seconds, because they'd just be like, fuck me, like, what's after happening? And I had to put back on my tracksuit in the dark and then go to my place for the bow. and we would wait until the audience started to clap for lights up. When they started clapping, lights come up, I'd be like,
just like
smiling away, like, hi.
I'm amazing.
They're like, she was literally pulling her eyes out 2 minutes ago. What the fuck? And I'm like, yes, it's me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like I presume it to be a lot more what's the word, like amplified for
Yeah, you have to
stage.
project a lot.
Whereas like in screen, it's meant to be reality. It's meant to be exactly what you'd expect to happen in front of you.
Yeah, again, I think it happens naturally. Now, when I did my tape for the short film that I did a couple of weeks ago, we were so lucky. Actually, we did it I did a tape and then I got a call back for in the room. So that was actually in our room with the director, and he recorded me. But the last thing I done was stay. Oh yeah. Up here, honey.
I'm surprised he was on a couch.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. He said, "Do you mind if we sell this?" I was like, "Well, for what?" But okay, how much are you giving me? But no, so but the last thing I'd done was stage. So I came in and was like, scream out, and he's like, "Yeah, "Can we just a bit softer there, Aisling?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I forgot this is TV or whatever." But yeah, you just kind of learn how to do it. Like, the one scene that was difficult for us to do on stage in asking for it was, there's a dinner table scene where we're literally sitting at a table like this. You can't see it unless you watch the thing.
So if you are audio, you can go over to the YouTube podcast and subscribe. Anyways, go on.
You should like pay me for that segue. That was unbelievable.
Pay you for that segue?
Yeah, it was like 50 cents or that.
Yeah, we'll slip you like €1 every time you do something. Just slip you. Oh, actually, sorry. So speaking of
what are you doing, kicking a football around there?
I got you a gift, and I didn't want to give it to you before it started because I give it to people on the show. So when Shane was like, "Oh yeah, do you want a cup?" and you're like, "Oh, podcast mug." I was like, "Fuck, I'm giving you one in like 20 minutes." Just,
no, you can't have a podcast.
There it is.
Thank you so
I probably
much.
shouldn't have told you what it was either. I'm literally just after giving it away.
I knew, sure, I watch your podcast.
Yeah.
I've seen you give it.
I thought you might have known.
Thank you so
there's
much.
your very own mug.
Thank you very much. But there's a dinner scene, and it's like a pivotal moment in the play, and it's really intense, and it's literally 30 minutes of the family just sitting at the table. But we're sitting at the table like we are now, but there's an audience of over 1,000 people behind us, and we're like roaring at each other across the table, like, even though it's supposed to be this real intimate, like, oh, build it up now, but we have to project, and my back is to the audience, so I have to project even more, because if I don't, they won't hear me.
Yeah.
So we're like roaring at each other, like, and it's real, like, oh my god, things are gonna, like, you know, and we're like, how the fuck do we do that when we're actually screaming at each other?
Do you know, that reminds me of, do you know when you're young and you do like you do a stage school, and it's like, you know, never turn your back to the audience.
Yeah.
Never turn your back.
And you're walking around like this then. You're like, you said don't turn my back to you. You can fucking turn like that. Like, your head
when you're
can
speaking,
move.
you just can't turn. You're like, okay, God, fine. Yeah, speaking of stage, as I mentioned, I did see you in Attend to Finish More where you played Mairead.
Yes.
Alongside the lovely Paul Mescal as well. Talk to me about that. That's because I'm a huge Mark McDonagh fan. Yeah. So talk to me how, like,
I met him. Do you know I met him?
What?
Yes, we fucking met him, and right, so I'll tell you about how I met him first, but then there's something else that goes with that that's actually so.
Do you know what I'm loving as well?
sad.
I'm loving and I don't know if it's going to be amplified because the two of us are on the podcast, but I'm loving the Offaly accent. Do you know, like?
Are you hearing it though? Because I don't hear.
Yeah, there was a few seconds ago where we were like, kind of like, you know, joke. Our voices were louder, and I was like, oh fuck, it's definitely more prominent now because someone else.
We're like, rah, rah, rah,
do you know when you get angry at someone, and like I'm saying, when I get angry, my Clara voice really comes out.
And then you get scary. People get a bit scared of you if you're from the Midlands and start roaring. Like,
because they can't understand you.
Yeah, they're like, why is you just shouting at me? I don't know what you're saying. Translator, please. Like in the Gate, they used to always say that to me, like, oh my god, your accent is so strong. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you on about? And they'd be like, don't use T's, like.
And what is your accent like? I wouldn't say a hindrance, but like it was at the start, because
I never ever thought about it, and then I had a teacher in the Gate who mentioned it to me, and honestly it was one of those moments in the Gate where I was like, I'm gonna fucking blow this school up. Like, I was just so angry I didn't blow it up. It's still there.
And Ashley went on to join ISIS. And
Ashley is going to Mountjoy in September, so
catch her before then. And a live performance of I'm going to blow this place apart. I hope That's okay to say. I hope people can understand that as a joke.
It's a joke. So I have to say that so many times these days.
Yeah,
But you can't also say it as well, because it's like, no, that's not a joke. It's inappropriate. But anyways, I had a teacher say to me before in improv, so we would do these like improv scenes where it was, the exercise might be, right, you have to say this and she says that, and then you work from there or whatever. And for some reason my brain had a fart that day and I couldn't fucking improv anything. Like I was just like I couldn't get anything out of me.
Sound like my dad.
And I kept
Well,
my dad too barking at me. Yeah. What? But you know what he means as well. You're a bit scared.
That's
like
so
they just
true.
kind of,
You can't understand them, but you understand them at the same time.
I actually uploaded a video to my TikTok when I first started. I started putting up videos just I had saved, and I used to do this thing with my dad that I'd start singing really softly and then just start getting really loud and annoying. And there's one video of him where he's like, "Will you shut up the fucking door?" I'm just like, yeah, that's the way my dad goes on.
That's just awfully meant.
Yeah. But yeah, so we started the improv, and she goes to me, "Aisling, will you please just stop going, oh no," and like she was impersonating my accent, and I was like, "Bitch, you did not just fucking say that." And I was like, "What are you on about?" And she was like, "You keep just going, oh no," and I was like, "I'm not a paddy, like, you know, like I don't fucking talk like that." And then it was getting taken, and it was even sounding more fucking Midlands. But that was the first time it came into my head of how strong my accent is, and it stands out so much. And I was started then to worry that
it would stop you getting...
Would that make a difference to me getting jobs and stuff like that, like if people heard my accent? But then I kind of had people around me, luckily, that were like, "No, that's bullshit." Like,
And what's like, are you good at like other accents? Are you good at...
see, I used to think I was, but
Oh, so
I
did I.
don't
And then
know.
I made a huge mistake by saying that in the podcast.
Oh no, we were like, "Do the accents."
Yeah.
No, I thought I was like, if I'm messing with someone and we start doing an accent, you know, sometimes that just happens. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah.
When
No,
you're
it
messing
does.
with someone, then you just jump into an accent, and then you have a full conversation in that accent, and you're like, "We've been doing this for 5 minutes, like
Yeah.
we're fucking savage at this accent." But then if I have to do it for a tape or something, I'm like, "Oh my god, I cannot do this. I'm butchering it." Like,
What's your best accent?
I don't know.
This is exactly...
What?
This is what because I was chatting to Ryan Carrick and he was like, "Oh yeah, doing an accent," and I just kind of panicked, and I thought I was good at it, but I'm not.
No, see, I don't want to, because I'm pressured now, so I won't do it well. If I did a class, then I'd be like, I'll just...
Do a class, we'll add it back in. I'd be like, "Hi guys,
I
just
sent it to you, yeah.
Aisling sent me a voice note and I'd asked to slip this into the podcast, so here you go." But from your two, because I want to talk about your TikTok next, and your social media stardom. But before that, because the two play. Oh, actually, sorry, I wanted to, because you mentioned you met Martin McDonagh.
Oh yes. So I met Martin. So basically, me and Martin have met.
I met Martin.
At the Rugby Club Disco.
Shifted by the court, jumping where the DJ plays, right beside.
Do you remember this lad that used to? He was a real short lad from Tullamore that used to always get the circles around him.
And he used to do the break.
But he would looked about like 11, and you'd be like, "How are you in
and
here?"
And he did the backflip all the time.
Fucking doing this shit, and you're like, "This lad's savage," but.
For those of you who don't know, the Rugby Club Disco is a disco that you went to. It was predominantly just kind of just around the Tullamore area, really, and Clara. And maybe Moat if you're so bold as to venture over. And it was really just where you went for the shift, and maybe your first sip of alcohol, depending.
I actually didn't drink at the Rugby Club. I was very good.
I only remember one person who ever got kicked out, and I think do you know who this?
What's that?
Does it begin with an M?
Yeah, his second name. Begin with D. Are you thinking of a girl or a boy?
Boy.
Oh, I'm thinking of a girl.
Okay,
I'm thinking of a night that me and my friends used to call the funeral night, because there was a night at the Rugby Club where a heap of people got caught drinking, and the guards were fucking everywhere, and they all got kicked out, and about 15 girls were just bawling their eyes out for about 3 hours because they still got in. but they were bawling their eyes out. I mean, my friends used to call it the funeral night because everyone was bawling their eyes out, and we were like, what's fucking going on?
And the funny thing is, like, it was literally the smallest sip of alcohol. Like, if we had it now, you'd be fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could drive. Really. Well, you can't.
Don't get Barry Cow with that.
You can't drink and drive.
An awfully joke that lands. Yes.
Come on, Barry.
I know. But yeah, sorry, you met Martin.
Oh, the rubbing up. Course that would take us off. Yeah, so our director Andrew Flynn got in touch with him, and he's worked with him before on his plays before, and asked him would he come over to come in to do a rehearsal with us for a day. And so we all fucking shat ourselves, of course, because we were like, oh my god, the Martin Mac fucking Dunna. Also, he's a ride. Oh my god, he's a dilf. He is such a fucking dilf. Like, he has grey, he's a silver fox.
He's not a bad.
He's a silver. Look at that hair. And he's going out with Phoebe Bridges-Waller, is that her name?
Yeah.
What's Fleabag? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Waller Bridges. Yeah. I was so close.
You got there.
See, that's my kind of like.
Do you know who he looks like? He looks like Sick Boy. No, not Sick Boy. No. There's Bigsby, Sick Boy. It's Trainspotting. Who are the 4 characters of Trainspotting?
Trainspotting.
There's Sick Boy, Bigby. Yeah, it is Sick Boy. He looks like Sick Boy.
I don't know. You may show me that.
Hold on. A Sick Boy, Trainspotting. So, like,
he better fucking look like him now, because you're building this up massively. Image.
Thank you.
Except Martin is better looking.
Yeah, no, Martin more refined.
Yeah.
More refined.
Slick.
You know,
I would call him a slick man. He came in dressed very well.
Yes,
a nice trench coat on him. So, anyways, we were literally like children. Like, when we knew he was coming, it was like after lunch. And like we kept going like, oh, there he is. How many messing? He's not here yet. Like, this kind of shit was going on.
How old are you?
Literally, I'm a child. I am 25 years of age, so I just have very immature sometimes. But yeah, so he came and he just watched us do scenes and then worked on it and answered any questions. Like, when you have the writer in the room, because like your whole thing about being an actor is ask questions. Like, ask why would she react that way? What's going on there? Like, you have to build the whole story. If you have the writer in the room, you can literally go, why did she, like, what's going on there? And the writer will give you an answer. Most of the time, you're deciding an answer. You're making a decision that this is why she feels like this, because this happened in her childhood. If you have the writer, he's like, no, that didn't happen. This is what happened, you know, and you're just like, oh, fucking savage. So it was class. Like, it was so fucking scary, of course.
Is he nice?
Lovely, really nice. He's actually really sound.
He's like, his comedy's hilarious. Like, it's very, like,
oh, yeah, but he's not like that at all. Like, you'd imagine. And he has a London accent. So he comes in and he's like, hello. And you're like, what? Your fucking characters are like, like fucking Irish to the core. And then he has this like English accent, which is mad. But no, he was lovely. I say he's an introvert. Like, he's not fucking really out there. But he said he gets a lot of inspiration from his brother.
His brother's very involved in his work as well.
Yeah, the two of them. He said that they used to have a lot of fun together, like when they were younger.
What's just from before I talk about the TikTok, what is being, because in your two, with say productions, stage productions, one was Asking for It, which is like much more serious plays, such a serious message behind it, and then Martin McDonagh's Lieutenant Inishmore, which is much more kind of humour.
It's comedy, like comedy. It's dark comedy.
It's dark comedy. It's like satire comedy. Yeah. So like.
Which I prefer.
Not so much prefer, because I'm sure they're very different.
Yeah.
But in the lead up to it, like which one were you more excited? Like because with Asking for It, it's tough.
Heavy.
That's it, and you either do it right or you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't even know do it right, like, because you're not trying to get to like, you're not trying to like go, this is the right way to do it, because other people could play both of the parts I played and played them differently, but be really good at it and it work. It just.
But it's the message behind the play that.
Yeah, well, of course, like, but you're not going to get cast in it if you're not going to be able to, like, you know, if you're shit, you're not going to get it. Sorry, but that's fucking fact. Like, I'm sorry, but no, I rather the lieutenant rehearsals purely because the rehearsals for Asking for It were just so heavy. Like, there's very little humour in it. So, like, you're dealing with this really tough theme all day, every day. Like, there was a stage where I fainted in rehearsals. We only had 3 weeks rehearsals as well.
How long did you have for Lieutenant to finish more?
I think we did like 4 or 5.
It still seems like very little time.
Yeah, but like 3 weeks was fucking insane. Like, I had to learn an entire script in 3 weeks, and bearing in mind, majority of the cast had already done it, so they were all off book day one, and then just the family and one of the guys that played the friends was new as well. So we had a lot to learn. But the week before the play, just from exhaustion, I fainted in rehearsals because I was just my head was so full with so much information and thinking about so much. And Annabelle Common, the director as well, she's very cerebral. Is that the right word to use? Like, she's very in your head and what's going on in her head, and like all these thoughts are going on and building, which was brilliant because I learned so much. Like, whereas Andrew was more of a kind of physical and like just wouldn't work on the brain side of it so much. But I was just so exhausted from it that my body was like shutting down.
It's like,
sorry.
What's that remind me of? What does that? What electrical appliance does that?
Do.
Yeah, but there's something that goes shutting down. I don't know. I don't even know why I brought it up. There's moments in this podcast where I say
your brain
things
just goes,
and I just like,
hello?
shut up.
Why did you say that?
It was really, she was making a good point. You shouldn't have said anything. But since,
oh, sorry, can I just say one thing? The Martin thing, because I think you'd be interested in this. We had to stop the play on Thursday because of coronavirus. Martin was coming to the fucking play on Saturday. We had done 6 and
that's good because he would have seen our shit show. So that was that's good because he would have seen our shit show.
No, he wouldn't. He would have cast me in his new fucking film that he's doing.
What's the new film?
He's doing, so there's a trilogy. The Lieutenant of Inishmore, the Inisheer. What's the other one? The Lieutenant of Inishmore. Cripple of Inishman, and then the Banshees of Inisheer. Inisheer. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he never actually wrote that. And that's what the film is, I think, based on. So he's filming that in Ireland, I think. I don't know when, I haven't heard anything about it, but I know that's
I actually heard that as well in work.
Yeah.
One of the lads, Dave, he's big into his like playwrights and big fan of Dave, Martin McDonough, he told me that too.
Yeah, so that was shy anyways, so he didn't get to come, but we were like, fuck it anyways. And who else? Lenny, Abraham's son, was supposed to come on Saturday as well.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, I hate my life. Okay, bye. I'm never working again.
And that's it. And that was the last Ashton was ever seen on stage. Such a fast talent.
Yeah, God, my career is just so short.
But then you've since like that, so the last couple of months, and this is the weird thing about it. So like, you know, people who are listening to this, a lot of them might know that you're on TikTok, might know the videos that you make. But it's funny because
or the other way around. I get a lot of people being like, you should really get into acting. I'm like, I am a fucking actor.
Wow, thank you so much.
Really?
Yeah, but you started making TikToks. You've like 80,000 followers on TikTok in like what, a month? Less?
Yeah, I started the sketches on the 10th of October.
The 10th of October?
Yeah.
A month?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And then like on Facebook, you're just under 20,000, 19.2. Or sorry, Instagram. Technically, it's owned by Facebook. So if you really wanted to be.
Sorry.
So yeah, on Instagram, you have 19.4 thousand followers. You've grown immensely.
You're right up to date with that, baby. Aren't you?
Every day, refresh.
19.461.
Unfollow for 4-6.
Just clear it off. I can't.
So talk about that. Like, what got you into? Because it's funny. The funny thing about it is, and I've said the funny thing about 15 times in this podcast, but is that like most people who started making TikToks. So when I started making TikToks, it was at the start of COVID. It was at the start of lockdown, the same as everyone. Whereas you've started making them.
You know, I just was like going to throw a spanner in the works. You know, fuck you all. I'm going to do something different because I know there's going to be a lockdown.
So you're just going to wait and then capitalise on that.
Yeah.
So when did why did you start making the videos?
Because I downloaded TikTok.
I suppose that's why most people make videos. They download the app.
And I just went, well, you know. No, I downloaded it just to watch shite, and I'd literally just be looking at fucking
mindlessly
videos.
Scrolling. Yeah,
but also when I first, you know the way like it doesn't have an algorithm suited to you when you first join, so there's loads of fucking shite coming up. And like I was looking at all of these like people literally lip syncing things and getting thousands of likes, and I'm like,
the Hype House, Sway House.
Now, I will admit that like some of them are really good in terms of because they've the expression down to a T and they've the mannerisms of the characters. That's what makes it funny because they're kind of doing their own thing with it. So I'm like, okay, I'll give them that. But I'm also like, you're like some of these people are making money off of this, like.
But you see, like I'm talking about the Sway House. I don't know if you know Sway House LA, but like.
No. Is this like the Go House here?
No, Sway House LA are like huge in America. They're probably the biggest boy group.
Are they?
Oh yeah, sorry, the same as Hype House and Goat House.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
yeah. But they're like massive in America. But it's just these lads who are good looking between the age of like 19 to 22, and they're just like good looking and just like they're
Oh, I hate that shit. When that shit comes, I'm like, fuck off. Like, you're so annoying.
You've
like.
Charlie D'Amelio and like Addison Rae who dance and like they set the trend of dancing. But the only thing is they come up with a lot of, and even if they don't come up with those dances, they give the dances, they're good dancers.
Yes,
Where
yes.
You've these lads.
That's actual talent.
The Sway House LA, they're doing the exact same dance, but it's like with minimal effort to get the fuck boy. And everyone's like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll buy whatever merch you're selling.
That's also because you have to think of the audience.
Yeah.
And when you're that age, when you're a teenager and you see fucking anyone that's anyway fucking good looking.
When you're a teenager and you see fucking, you're like, whoa.
Your hormones are just like, wah! Like if you see someone fucking hot, like you can't fucking do it. And like, it's just, that makes sense that they will get all of those views and shit. But anyways, the reason why I was saying that is because I saw all these people making fucking money off this shit, and I was like, I'm watching this stuff now about 2 months. And then I started, when I was going to bed, I start getting these skits in my head. And I was just like, one day I literally just went, fuck it, I'll just fucking put up one. I had put up a couple of videos that I thought were funny on my phone. A couple of views.
Just,
3 people, my ma included.
That's because I had her phone.
Well, look at my fucking TikTok, quick mash, like it. But, and then I was just like, I'll just put up the sketch. And then it literally
blew up.
Yeah, but I don't even
Just
say
like
it blew up
the
because
But
two together. Nice little joining arches going on in this podcast. But
what?
Arches. See, that's acting talk right there. The arch of the podcast.
Right.
We're talking about the previously driven arch.
Okay.
But no, I was just like, fuck it. And then but when you say blew up, like in the scale of TikTok, I've done well in terms of I've gotten a lot of followers and stuff like that, but it's still fucking very small in comparison to like.
Well, yeah, but like in comparison to Irish TikTokers, like there's only 2 who have over 1 million in Ireland, and that's Andrea and Lewis, and Andrea's Puerto Rican, so half Irish. Only half of that account is Irish. With Lewis, and then the other one is Kaylee Mua, I believe. I'm not Kaylee Mua, but like she had millions of followers beforehand.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only.
God, is that mad? Are they the only 2? Because they both followed me.
Because you have like you do have like the Go House or Lauren Whelan or there's a few other people. Oh, sorry, Tyg Fleming. So yeah, you're one of the very few Irish creators to grow that much, and there's not that many Irish creators with that much following at all. So definitely don't undermine your growth. And then the funny thing is, because we were talking about it on the way up, is that you have a huge following on Instagram now too, which is great. Like it's really like difficult. Just to give into context, one of the lads, Max Taylor, who was on this podcast, he you might have seen his videos on YouTube or on TikTok. They're really funny, very, very original creator as well. And he is like, I think.
What kind of stuff does he do?
Oh.
Are they sketches?
No,
skits,
so I don't know if you remember at the start of lockdown, he'd done like, oh, my name is Max Taylor and this is the run a mile with a glass of milk in your hand challenge. I'll show you some of his videos.
Right,
you might know, I'll show some of his videos afterwards, but he grew loads and he got a bit of following on Instagram too because his content was original. Yeah. But nothing like compared to yours, especially the ratio wise, like it's blown up. Yeah, like, and that for me is more validating than anything ever can be. Unreal. As many people as clap on stage, it wasn't fucking 20 or 80,000 people clapping on me on stage. So you know what? No, but because it just felt like TikTok. I googled it. There's like over 800 million people on TikTok. I don't know how many people are on Instagram, but also we were talking about audiences. That's a good question. And I know the audience. Yeah, look it up there. How many people are on Instagram? Now, one thing I would like to clarify as well, it's not like all about followers. It's just more that
No, it's not. But
it shows the engagement of how much people like your
Exactly.
content. That's what I'm trying to get across here. So before someone says,
You're all about fucking followers.
all about
It's the only
followers.
reason you're fucking. Also, to clarify, I'm not like just doing it for money because I haven't made a fucking penny off it. So
1 billion people are on Instagram.
holy shit. Okay, that's a lot of
Do you
people.
know like the 2.4 billion are on Facebook?
That's all. That are
There's
on.
only 7 billion people.
Wait, sorry, Manny's on Instagram
1 billion.
and 2.4 billion are on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
How many of them don't use their accounts anymore?
Oh, so 2.4 billion, yeah. So when we had a talk from a girl on Facebook, and she was like, in work, and she was saying, oh, like, I'm sure you think that Facebook is dead. And we were like, yeah. And she was, it's funny because there's so many countries where Facebook is dead, but for a certain age group. And then the likes of a lot of the third world countries, they're only getting internet, so Facebook was only becoming prominent, and obviously we all know your auntie and your mother's on Facebook too. So
Yeah.
So 2.4 active users on Facebook.
Wow. Well,
Messenger counts as Facebook too. I presume.
Yeah, because I deactivated my Facebook when I started acting because I had photos on it when I was like that I uploaded when I was like 13, and I was just like, I just don't want people to see that, but I don't want to lose the photos either, so I deactivated my account. Like, you can't find my account. Oh, everyone's gonna fucking go looking for it now.
That was just such a.
I did deactivate it though, but I kept Messenger.
Yeah.
So I'm technically probably active in some way or another.
I don't think I've many. I just incriminating photos of looking so ugly, but there's nothing that's
no,
actually
there's
put
nothing
me-
bad on it. It's just I want to have them photos. Like someday I would like to just download them on and then delete Facebook because I just don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
But no, in terms of the followings, it's just again, like I was saying, the audiences. We've such a different audience on Instagram to TikTok. Like my TikTok audience is teenagers and like it is a younger crowd. Like they will find videos that I would think are a bit more mature not as funny, and I noticed that, and I actually use, because I usually post it on TikTok, a video, and then like Instagram will be afterwards, but I'll see what it's like, the feedback on TikTok is like, and if it doesn't kind of do as well, I'm kind of going, right, I think that will hit the Instagram audience better, and it usually does then, because it's a little bit more mature and they'll find it funnier.
And do you find, like, because you got so a lot of your content's very like Irish mammy kind of, which is funny because it's so accurate. But you get a lot of like, I remember one of your stories was like, you were like, guy, lads, if you don't like my content,
fucking God,
the stuff you say, there's
fucking gremlins on the internet, like fucking gremlins, like 50-year-old men just like, I fucking hate everyone, like fuck you, you're rotten looking, and you're just like, fuck off, you loser, like. But it's so annoying because that grabs your attention much more than the fucking 15 people that have texted you saying, you have made my day, like honestly, first time I laughed today, or something like that. That will pull your fucking attention. But I think that we as a society don't understand, bear with me, fucking social media and how to deal with it yet, because it's so new in the large scale of things. Like, when did Facebook come out? Like 15 years ago. You alright? Is your ear falling off?
Bleeding. Got pierced like
bleeding.
7 weeks ago. Pretty sure it's
Why?
affected. No, I'm messing. It's not actually bleeding.
All right, okay.
No, it is.
Yeah, it's okay. I just. Fine. You're drinking that book fast.
Yeah, actually got me a present of Book Fast, which is lovely. So any other guests that come on the show, you know now what the standards are.
Book fast enough. That's not a high standard.
But Book Fast is nice though. Book Fast is nice.
I don't know why. It's just because you're from Clara. I don't know. I just imagine.
That's just so insulting.
I'm sorry, but I just imagined you with a bottle of Book Fast in your hand in like a picture or something, and I was just like, I have to go with this now. Like,
I don't know why. Book Fast is Scottish.
I don't know, but like, I know people from Galway fucking love Book
people.
Fast.
Galway is Book Fast city.
Central.
But what do you mean we don't understand social media?
No, I just think, when did Facebook start? Does anyone know that?
2000 and...
Like, it's the 2000s.
2004.
Yeah, or like one... Because I know there was...
Yes, 2004. Bam.
Like, 2004. How many years ago is that? 16 years ago?
Yeah.
That's not that, like, old. So I think that, like, What? We're trying. It's not that fucking old, Podge. Like,
I know it's not.
What are
I'm
you
not.
laughing at?
There's no part of me that thinks 16 is old. I am not. Do not put me in that bracket.
Joel, you're fucking smiling there now.
No, it's just I actually don't know why I'm just the way you said it, but it's not that old.
It's not that old. I think we've so much to learn about it. And there's this thing of like, don't give the fucking haters any time, like, you know, like, you're unreal, hon. And I'm just like, no, that bastards, after saying fucking something horrible to, and like, don't fucking share it, like, you know, and people block out their names if they say mean things. And I'm like, fucking put them up on the stake. Show everyone who the fuck it is that's sending you these rotten messages so that they can go, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But then there's this whole thing of like, they might not be able to deal with that because they've never experienced it.
But I think the counter argument there as well is the slight hypocrisy to the extent of putting that up on your story, because then you're going to have people who love you who are going to do the exact same thing to them as you've done to you, and then what happens is who's worse. Not worse, but just knowing. But then also, how do you then
deal with it?
And how do they have to face repercussions for what they do? So I think that's the kind of,
because there are none at the minute. You can't. Anyone can fucking be a troll. Anyone can make a page and just fucking go out there to be mean to people. Like, I don't think we've learned how to deal with that yet in a way that's like.
I don't think Irish society in general has, not to conform, but like has become comfortable with social media being a career and because like the likes of the Gold House, like the absolute abuse they got when they set up. When you look at the likes of America, and you're going to get abuse everywhere, but it's the abuse, but also the uncertainty to what it is. Whereas at least in America, when the likes of the Hype House and that, there was blueprints there for loads of different houses there. But when it was done in Ireland, it was more about what the hell is going on.
But also it's that Irish mentality of like, you fucking idiot, putting up fucking videos. Oh lad, look at that loser. Like, you know, there's that such
100%.
that fucking mentality with everything. Like, I would have got that, like, going into acting. Like, oh, look at your one fucking thinks she's an actor. Like, you know, he does that like thing that like I've grown out of. I've never really given a massive fuck about what anyone thinks about me. Like, I just do whatever the fuck I want.
I massively cared.
Did you?
Way too much.
But that's so. I don't know if I'm weird or something, like, but I just didn't give a fuck.
Pretty strange.
Pretty odd bitch. Might not.
No, yeah, I think that's my biggest. I wish I didn't, because I would have liked to have pursued the arts or something more so than, you know, trying to play football.
But like, would you think now that you still can?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I definitely think I can. But like, that's what I'm doing. And like, I made
a platform for yourself now as well. Like,
I did make TikToks, but I stopped just because I'm like don't have time during the day, or I'm too lazy.
You're
the
working.
Latter. But the latter. But like, I wouldn't be worried to now. But like, kids, it's kind of, it's shit for them. Because,
But like I said, like, I honestly have, people hate when I say this, especially actors. But like, I think that because I had such a massive self-belief in myself, and that's another problem that Irish people have with you. If you are really fucking confident, they're like, look at herself. Doesn't she think she's fucking great doing that? There's such a fucking begrudgery about it, instead of just being like, oh, like, well done, Aisling. Like, you're so confident, you are going to go far or whatever. There's such a begrudgery. And I was just always super confident, always like, I will get acting jobs, I will get signed to an agency, I will do well. I don't know when it'll happen, but it will happen at some stage.
Do you think do you find your friends now are much more supportive? Because I think my friends now, although, and this is what I like, I'm at that age, and my friends are at that age where I still get the abuse, but it is actually banter, and I can tell the fun behind it. Whereas if I had any self-doubt about something, or if I was worried about something, they'd be the ones like, no, honestly, this is really good. Whereas I still get that Irish quintessential, good lad, or like, funny. But like, there's no meaning behind it. It's genuine fun, which is the part of the Irish kind of humour that I like. And then, but there is also the supportiveness now that I've kind of grown out of it.
I don't know. I honestly never had people around me that did.
I'm not saying I did. But I think like people in school. I'm not saying my friends were like that. That's
no. I know what you mean, but like, there wouldn't have been anyone close enough to me because I was so fucking confident that if anyone did say something to me about something, I'd be well able to turn around and be like, what the fuck are you going to do with your life, you fucking idiot? Like, you know, like I'd be well able to turn around and say, shut up, like, I wouldn't give a fuck about it. So I've been just lucky that I haven't had people around me that was like that. But I know there are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I know there are, but again, I don't give a fuck.
And what's like, would something like this, and this is something I always wondered, would making videos hinder or help your acting career?
So I'm still exploring that right now, because I'm a fucking month into it. I remember a teacher in the gate school, I said something about someone that makes sketches online and said, oh, I think their sketches are fucking hilarious. Ever watch them online? And the teacher made a comment like, yeah, but Aisling, you're better than online sketches. Like, a kind of comment like that.
Yeah.
And that's another part of fucking acting, that there's a lot of snooty people that are a bit like, darling, you can't act. From the Midlands, that accent, you fool. But like, there's that kind of snobbery attached to it, you know. There's
a pedestal to
definitely
professionally being trained as opposed to.
But because I did it the other way around, like I've
professionally
acted. I did the shows, I did the series and stuff like that, and I just did it for a bit fucking crack. Like, I was bored. I needed something to do every day. And I said, this is acting, so it's going to keep me busy and doing my craft. Like, I'm going to be doing something that I actually do as a job. Like, you know, instead of just sitting on my fucking hole every day watching Netflix, like, I was like, right, I'm going to actually do something. But I don't know. Is it a thing? What I did, like, I got a message about someone about an upcoming film and was like, I know the writer or whatever, and it's based on a book they're making into a film, and they were like, I know the book and stuff, and they were like, I definitely want to pass your name on. I think that you would be really suited.
So you've seen there has been opportunity.
That happened like once, like, but I don't know. I'm sure there are people that are probably like, oh God, she's not making sketches online. Like, you know, like, that can't be what people know her of as the sketches girl that does that. And I don't know how I feel about that, because it's a bit fucking crack, like, you know. I don't know enough to go, I'm a fucking month into it, like, I don't know enough to go, yes, this has affected me getting work, or no, it hasn't. Like, I just don't know yet.
You just hope it doesn't.
Well, yeah, but also I'm kind of like, if you fucking have that attitude, if you're going, I'm not going to cast her in this because she does that, then fuck off. Like, I don't want to fucking work for you then, like, you know.
Yeah.
If you're going to have that attitude, like, you're obviously not a fucking nice person. You've seen what I've been in, or know what I've been in, who I've worked with and stuff like that. So, like,
it's the condescendingness of doing something that's just a bit fun, and then people are clearly liking it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like,
so I'm just kind of like, nah, look.
And what's been the, like, okay, so in terms of because we've talked about like the stage career and the screen career and studying acting and your craft, but in the last month, so just separation of the kind of TikTok, Instagram, social media videos, what's been the most like, oh, that's cool kind of moment? Because I'm sure they don't, there's complete different comparisons to being on stage and getting a massive like standing ovation, but like just in the last month, what has been the, oh, that's such a cool moment?
And like in terms of the TikTok?
Yeah, like anyone...
Or like life.
No, like in terms
of... a cool video of a dog.
Fucking unreal. In terms of the TikTok, in terms of like for you, has there been like a, oh, whoa, that's kind of...
I suppose when people... do you know Neil Delamere?
I do.
The comedian? I'm a massive fan of his. And I messaged him and asked him to have a look at my videos and just let me know what he thinks of it. Not looking for him to share it, not anything. I literally just wanted a bit of feedback. And he was like, I think they're great. You're doing really well with your followings is massively increased and stuff like that. To get a message from him and to get a following from, do you know Enya Martin? Gizalaf. She's a Dubliner. Do you know her? She does sketches as well. She followed me and I was like, oh, that's someone that I always would. She would have did a few sketches with Rory Stories before as well. And I was like, just getting follows from people that I would have known that do a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, like Catherine Thomas followed me on Instagram, cool. And I was like, what? Nah, straight away. I was like, this is fucking.
And how did your mum feel? Because a lot of the content you make is Irish mum content.
I know, and someone's like, oh, your ma's probably dead, exactly like that. And I'm like, she's actually fucking not like with the wine one. There was one sketch that is me and my sister. That is my favorite one. It just progressively gets more drunk, and it's so accurate. Yeah,
it's
like
accurate.
when going up to the club manager, because I could, like, when I went straight up to him and I said, you know what now, John is a fantastic midfielder, and if you put him in a full back, he will not perform
It was
well.
a single. What was it? Was it Alive? Oh, did she was singing? What was the song? The mother was singing?
Caledonia.
Yeah,
That song always comes out as well. But she was like, no, you know I would not drink that much. Like, because my man doesn't. Like, she's like 3 glasses. Like, oh, God, I should go to bed now. You know, she would never drink like more than a bottle, like, ever. So she's like, so it's not all. She just gives a fuck anyways. She's the exact same as me. She doesn't give a fuck about what anyone thinks, like, you know. So she's just delighted that it's doing well and stuff like that. So
where would you like? Okay. I ask everyone who comes onto the show every time, where would you see yourself? And it's hard to give you a timeline. Usually I give people a timeline from when they've started but like you've done so much in so many different kind of areas. Where would you? I'm just going to give you a year. Because usually it's like, okay, you've been doing TikTok for 3 months, or usually like, okay, you've been doing comedy itself for 3 years. You've done so many different things, so it's kind of annoying because I can't be like, so like, it's been what? You've been doing this for 7 years. If you take your entire college.
I'm interested in zoology, so I might fucking do a degree in that. No, I don't know. Like, I've always said I would like to get to a point of being well known in the acting industry. Not to a point of fucking I can't go down to Lidl and look at the specials like for a while. You know, which
no matter how rich I get, if I see a blanket on offer or a ski suit,
you better believe.
I can guarantee when they hit TY, they're going to want to go on a ski trip, and I am going to.
There are wetsuits, Aisling, in Lidl for €15, and they're brilliant.
Is your man one of those, like my mum used to always take even though she would never buy anything, like we had no intention of buying it, but would spend an hour and a half going through the Aldi special. And that's the only reason.
Oh, gosh, no, would you use that? You won't, no. And then they want to get it for you. You're like, no, I won't really use it. Oh, fine then. I won't get it for you.
And then you ask for something, well, I wanted to buy you that the other week and you didn't want it. I was like, yeah, because you wanted to buy me a fucking wetsuit. We live in Offaly. I want a car this time, which I actually need.
Man, I'm not going to fucking use it.
I'm going to swim around the bog.
Fenimore Lakes is fabulous. Go for a swim there.
Clonmacnoise, it's a beautiful spot.
Wear your wetsuit, you could be warm.
It's the games now, the X station and all that shite.
Stuck on a screen, so yeah. But no, what did you ask me? Where you want to be. Yeah. So I would love to just be recognised in the acting industry as someone to look up to. Like, I would love to, where it's like Charlie Murphy would be. Like, if I ever got to that point in my career. You know Charlie Murphy?
No,
Siobhan, Love Hate, Peaky Blinders, lots of stuff. Oh, I feel
no, definitely wrong, Charlie Murphy.
Oh, there's a man, Charlie Murphy. That's not Charlie Murphy.
That's Charlie Murphy.
That's not Charlie Murphy.
Not Charlie Murphy at all.
That's
a photo of a black man who's an American actor just after coming up. Is it?
Oh, bye, Charlie. How's your brother?
Charlie, how are you and the bros getting on?
Any chance of a few spare fags there, bud?
Go on, Shazza.
Shazza! How's Eddie? What's Eddie at these days?
That's what I seen you was in the rugby club shifting Rochelle over in the corner. It was unreal. Shifting Shelley.
We have a road near my... Oh no, I can't say it in case someone finds out where I live. There's fuck it. There's a road near my house called Shell Martin. And every time we go to the shop on the way back, the house go, John, I was talking to you the other day. Shell Martin.
Yes, sure. Do you know what? That's the shite kind of humour amongst the people who are from that area that you love but also hate.
Every time, Shell Martin. Anyways, but yeah, Charlie Murphy, that Irish actress that I actually call myself an actor, so I'll call her an actor as well. If I got to a level that she's at, like BBC, getting into BBC series and stuff like that, like I'm a massive fan of all that kind of stuff. Got to that level, that would be like, I'm not saying the next fucking year, I'm giving myself till December.
And if I don't get it,
I'm quitting.
That's it, done. Straight to TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, I've no doubt that you will get there, Aisling.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Please God.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Jeez, that was great. That was
a great bit of crack.
Great chat. It's always great when I don't have to like pull from my notes or my questions in my phone, which is always fun. I'm still looking at Charlie Murphy, like right.
Eddie's bro.
I'm still staring at him. If you do like the podcast, you can support on Patreon at patreon.com/BIFFO. patreon.com/the podcast. I'm not. The intros are shite and the outros.
Actually, you weren't even fucking close at all.
No, I'm not close. You'd think like after 51 episodes, and if you count,
Holy fuck, that's savage.
if you count season 1, 61, but we're not counting that.
You count what?
Season 1, it's 61 episodes,
you
but
don't count that.
don't count season 1. But you think I'd be like well able to close it out at this stage?
It's because you know you have to do the end bit.
Yeah,
so your brain starts to go, "You finished now," and then you're like, "Well, I can't speak."
I can never finish. But so if you do like the podcast,
You're
you
really ruining yourself with these jokes. Like,
I know it's
make
awful.
good ones about yourself. Like.
Okay, yeah. But you know, if they're expecting bad, you can't do any worse.
That's a great way
my
of
motto
thinking. Great way of
for
thinking.
life. Often motto. Such this. If you do, just finish
It's
it up.
over.
You know it's bad when the producer's like, just finish it up. If you do like the podcast, please you can support me at patreon.com/the podcast, or get in touch with Podge Henry, or get in touch with Podge at thepodcast.ie, or you can get in touch on Instagram, Twitter, like Podge Henry, and all those social medias. Jesus Christ! Thank you very much, Ashley, for joining me.
For having me.
For myself here at Collaborative Studios, thank you very much for listening, and until next week, have a good one.